We have a special guest on the phone. Actress Ashley Scott is one of the stars of Jericho, the CBS drama about nuclear holocaust that, thanks to Ashley and the rest of the stellar cast, has done very well in its first season, despite its somewhat depressing premise, you know, nuclear attack and small town has to deal with it. By the way, you've also seen Ashley in The Dark Angel, Birds of Prey, as well as the movies AI, Artificial Intelligence, Walking Tall, and Just Friends. Ashley Scott, welcome to the Bob Rivers Show. Good morning.
Good morning. How are y'all?
I'm good. How are you all?
I'm good. I'm waking up.
All right. That's a little Louisiana in that in that voice.
Yeah.
You like you still love Louisiana?
Oh, are you kidding? I love it. Yeah. I left there though when I was about almost 4.5, 5 years old, and moved to Charleston, South Carolina. So that's really kind of where I grew up. But we go out to New Orleans as much as possible.
Joe's from the South.
I'm
our show.
I'm from Mississippi, and you know,
Mississippi.
Yes, ma'am. And yesterday, if in New Orleans is the biggest day of the year, of course. Do you still?
Yes, it was.
Do you still do some Mardi Gras?
Oh man, my husband and I went down last year for we got to ride in the Orpheus Parade, which was so cool, you know, to be able to ride up on the floats and throw the beads. But the beads are heavy. Some of them are heavy, and when you're throwing them, you feel like you're going to hit somebody with them.
It might hurt, yeah.
It's wonderful. It was great to go back, certainly after the hurricane, and spread a little bit of joy and kind of sit down and talk to the people.
How is it? You must have driven through. If you went back, you must have driven through some neighborhoods. We see some pictures of still devastated homes and neighborhoods. What was it like for you? What sort of touring did you take? How much of it would you say is somewhat back to normal, and how much of it is maybe hidden and not as good as we hope it is?
Sadly, it was last year, but talking to friends and family, not a whole lot's changed. So I can tell you, when we flew in, just looking down, I just bawled and bawled. I mean, the trees just spun around like matchsticks, and then you fly into the airport where there's 2 terminals working, and you drive through, and it's just devastated. I mean, it's horrible, and people are out of their homes, and everyone's disheveled, and there's just and now it's worse because people have forgotten. I'm not forgotten, but people don't realize that the need is still there, and I really urge people to get on a plane, go out there, just do whatever, help, send some money, bring supplies, anything. I mean, people still need us.
Is Bourbon Street essentially? Could you have a sheltered trip, just do Bourbon Street in the French Quarter, and you'd think that things were okay?
Yeah, I mean, the French Quarter was basically untouched, and it's really cool actually. You go down there and you're in New Orleans, and that's another great thing. The tourist industry is so important for that community that if you go down there, you can still have a great trip and bring some money back into the community at the same time. But it's a hoot. The music's still singing down the streets and the beer's flowing, so it doesn't hurt.
Speaking of communities, do you ever actually have to go to Kansas to shoot Jericho? That would be pretty rough.
Oh, Kansas. There's nothing wrong with Kansas. Yeah, no, we don't. We shoot in Van Nuys.
No, we don't.
Yeah, but we don't.
Love them in Kansas, but no.
I love Kansas. Never been. Yeah. No, we're lucky to have a really great lot out here, and we shoot a lot of it out here, and I believe in the pilot they went up to Canada and shot some there. So we're faking it.
You've had a showbiz or media career your whole life. You started as a young girl modeling. How old?
I was 15.
15 years old. And you really you got into it. You did the big deal. You walked the runways of Miami, Paris, and London. And I was reading a little bit about modeling lately. They actually say that modeling is fallen on not necessarily some tough times, but some very competitive times, as they've now opened it up to globally all over the world. And some of the top models don't make the kind of bread they used to, and they face real strong competition from Russia and China and all sorts of places that we used to not get models from. Ironically, a lot like our manufacturing jobs, or they're being shipped overseas. Are you aware of any of that? Do you still stay in touch with some of those models?
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, as far as I started in the business in '93, and it was, there were girls from all over the world always, and certainly, I mean, when I was in business, I think what maybe you're referring to is when I think it was like the top four, when it was like Cindy Crawford and
right.
Linda Evangelista and those kind of girls, Naomi Campbell, and there was like they were the supermodels, and they made bank. But now you look at covers of magazines, and there's actresses on the covers.
That's the other trend, is moving more towards brand name actresses and less towards models on our covers.
Well, because I think people are looking at other women. They're not looking at models. They're not looking, they're looking at a woman with a full body, or you know what I mean? It's a little bit. I think it's selling better. Did you ever feel pressured to stay real thin? No, I can't tell you. I'm just skinny. We're all skinny in my family. I'm like one of those, I'm just skinny. If you see my brothers, we're all gangly and tall. And
Ashley, you are healthy. I tell you what, you spent 3 minutes on the screen during SWAT. And when you dump Colin Farrell, and I can watch that movie until you leave the room, and then for me the movie's over. You are not skinny, darling. So you can herc down a bacon cheeseburger, and it's not a big deal for you. You've got a great metabolism. Right. That's what I mean. I mean, I've never struggled with those kind of issues. Thank gosh. Because if somebody told me I couldn't eat those things, I think I'd quit the business. But yeah, I mean, I saw a good fair share of girls with issues like that, and it's really devastating. So, well, you're doing fantastic. I'm glad that they're cracking down on it. You're doing fantastic. You're on a great show, Jericho. Ashley, thank you very much for the time. Best of luck to you and everything. The CBS drama Jericho. Thanks, enjoy. Right. Okay, what do the Sonics and Anna Nicole Smith have in common?